If you're 16 to 18, this message is for you. Or if you're the parent of a 16 to 18-year-old, which are the decisions that you already should be able and willing to make for yourself if you are between the ages of 16 to 18. When you were little, when you were 5, 6, or 7, maybe you made decisions like, what am I gonna eat today for breakfast? Because your parents would ask you. Or what kind of clothes am I gonna wear this morning when I go to school? Or what kind of toy do I want my parents to buy for me in a supermarket? Those are little decisions. But when you're 16 to 18, some of the most important decisions you have to get used to making are, who are your friends? You get to decide who your friends are, and they can be from outside your family circle or people whom your parents or your neighbors recommend that you should have as friends. Start deciding who your friends are, and it's absolutely okay to decide inviting friends in your life who are mostly like you, the ones you really like and with whom you are very familiar. Also, you get to decide if you want to have a best friend or not. It's not a must, but you can have a best friend, somebody that you communicate very often with and with whom you share a lot of experience in teenager life. Then, very important, you get to decide, if you're 16 to 18, you get to decide how you spend your alone time. And your alone time is very important. It's very important to have time that belongs to yourself. That's not scheduled for school, that's not scheduled for your extracurricular activities. You have to start making decisions about some portions of your time because that belongs to you. So, because alone time can be, I want to read a book, I want to just think, I want to browse some content. It's okay for you to know you have to start deciding how to spend your alone time, and that's okay that is your decision. Then you get to decide which sports you like, and if you do a sport, if you still do a sport, you get to decide how often you do that sport. That should be your decision when you're 16 to 18. Also, when you're 16 to 18, you have to decide which are the subjects that you really like in school and whether you want to make a certain subject a focus for you or not. You should be deciding that for yourself. This is where vocational discovery comes in really handy, because if you're 16, 17 and you're unsure which are your favorite subjects and which abilities of yourself, mental, emotional, you want to keep developing, you must discover that for yourself. So you keep on deciding something that's incredibly important and related directly to the work you're going to be doing. Then, if you're 16 to 18, you must decide for yourself which extracurricular activities you choose to do. On the weekends, in the summer vacations, you have to start practicing making decisions for your life, and you'd better make them about those things that are very important to you and make you, you. Then I would say, very importantly, once you're 16, you are also able to work. So you get to decide how you spend your summer vacation, for example, at least half of it. If you still live at home, you're 16, 17, you still live at home with your family, you should still be making the decision about how you get to spend at least half of your summer vacations. Which activities you want to focus on, if they're school related or they prepare you for college, you should get to decide which are the subjects you want to focus on, with which frequency you want to focus on them. And related to work, you could also decide whether or not you want to work during the summer, because you're absolutely legally entitled to do that, and it's going to offer you freedom and a lot of personal experience. You should also be able and free to decide what kind of cultural information you prefer to have in your life, like which movies to see, which books to read, if you want to experience architecture, art on vacations, and what kind of experiences you would prefer to have on vacations. Anyway, start to make decisions for yourself. And it's true, I think that you have to start by getting to know yourself very well, outside of the environment that has already taught you or given you so much information about who you are. You must understand what your abilities are, what your preferences are, because otherwise, how are you going to turn into an adult? Adults are supposed to make their own informed decisions.